Hey everyone, it's Troy here with the Golden Farm Urban Homestead. Has this last year been a doozy or what? I'm not sure if you noticed, but we haven't been on YouTube in a lot of months. We have dealt with things this past year just like everybody else has, and I'm going to kind of go over what we've been through and how to really be prepared for when you're either knocked down, be it from getting sick, injured, your spouse is out, vacationing, you don't have extra hands, you're not able to give your full attention to your farm and homestead, garden. So we're going to go over that today, so let's get to it. So around June or July of last year in 2020, I noticed I wasn't recharging my battery, I guess you could say, to where I would go to sleep, I'd wake up, slept fine, or at least it felt like I slept fine, and it just didn't feel like I slept at all. It was weird. It was like I was trying to run through a pool of molasses on a cold day. If you've ever poured molasses, you kind of know that it is thick, and that's just, it felt like everything was, like my whole body was just sludged down kind of, and I just couldn't recharge. I would go to work, I would come home, and as soon as I would get home, I would need to take a nap, which was really unlike me. I would take about a 2 to 4 hour nap after I got home. As soon as I'd wake up, I'd have dinner, maybe stay up for about 20 more minutes after dinner, and then go directly back to bed. Sleep for 8 hours, wake up, feel exhausted, and then same thing, go to work, feeling like I'm just trying to run through molasses. And it just wasn't working anymore for me, to where I knew something was wrong, because I am a ball of energy, if you know me, to where I have just unlimited energy, basically, and this was really unlike me. So I got tired of feeling that way. I had been doing that for, oh man, I think it was probably about 3 or 4 weeks. It was just getting progressively worse. So called the doctor, made an appointment, gave blood, gave urine, and waited. So I get a call from the doctor after everything was ran, and my doctor told me, "You're 32 years old. You're fine. Don't worry about it. All your numbers are normal. You don't need to worry about a thing. You're fine. Just sleep. You'll be fine." That's what I was doing. I was sleeping. I was sleeping almost 14 hours a day sometimes, to where just nothing was happening. And my doctor's telling me that everything's fine. All my numbers are in the range and everything. So what do I do now? So this whole time, thankfully, I have a great partner in life, Sheena. So she kind of took over while I was trying to figure out what was going on with my body. And so she was starting to not just take care of the rabbits and the inside animals, she was now having to take care of the chickens, making sure all the plants are watered, making sure everybody has what they need. So thankfully, I have a partner that is in this 100% with me. So while Shayna was taking care of all the animals, getting everything done, preparing dinner, doing everything, making my lunches for work for me, because I was so exhausted in the morning, I just didn't even have the energy to spread mayonnaise on a piece of bread. So while I was still going through the motions of going to work, feeling exhausted, taking naps, waking up, eating dinner, going to bed, rinse and repeat, I was listening to podcasts the whole time. And I was listening to the survival podcast, and I happened to hear about this doctor, Green Wisdom Health. And I figured, you know what, it's an alternative doctor. My doctor said there's nothing wrong with me, and I know there's something wrong with me, so let's give it a try. So get on the website, do the whole thing, fill out the survey, get a call from the doctor the next day. And he tells me, okay, you're gonna take this test, go down to Quest Diagnostics, give your blood, I think I had to give urine as well, and then we'll contact you in about a week and a half. Okay, so I go to Quest Diagnostics, give my blood, blah blah. Takes about 10 minutes total time, which was awesome, instead of waiting an hour at the normal doctor's office. So I'm sitting there waiting, another week goes by. I think I'm 6 weeks into this now, so a month and a half, almost 2 months in of just feeling like garbage. So after about a week and a half, I get a call from the doctor. Have a 2-hour conversation with this doctor, which was a lot better than the 5-minute conversation I always got to have with my normal doctor. The doctor was great, told me everything. Before the consult that I had on the phone, had me print out, I think it was like 22 pages of my blood report, which I was just like, I was very taken aback that it was that thorough of a blood test. And so we talked for 2 hours. So we're going over the blood panel report, and he's telling me to go to these lines, and this is telling me that I'm toxic in heavy metals. More than likely, I have a candida overgrowth in my stomach, and that these two things cause basically a chain reaction of things to lead me where I was. So this was years in the making, basically, of just the environment that I'm in, and basically we're probably all toxic in heavy metals just because of all the crap that's in our environments now. But anyways, I get on some high quality supplements through this doctor, and within about 6 days of taking all of these supplements that he had me on, I start feeling it different. On day 10, I almost feel back to completely normal again, to where I have my energy, I can sleep, I feel energized when I wake up, I have an appetite again. On day 18, I actually feel better than when I started, before I even felt like crap. So I took back over my normal chores, started getting back into the normal routines, making dinners, making my lunches in the morning for breakfast, or at breakfast time for work. So basically, after about 2.5 months worth of feeling like garbage, getting on high supplements or high quality supplements, I'm feeling back to normal. Actually, I'm feeling better than normal. Getting back into the normal routine. And one day I come home from work, get into my garden clothes and everything from my work clothes, grab our dog, go out back, start doing our normal routine, and helicopter over the top of our heads. I mean, he was low. I'll stop right there and kind of give you a reason why this is kind of a significant thing. Basically, behind my house is 3 little strips of kind of like pond lakes. They're not very deep. They are for world championships of skiing and stuff like that to happen. So they're private little lakes. I don't even really consider them lakes. I think they're like 8 inches deep. They're enough for a boat to go on and a person to ski on top. Basically, the helicopter, when there's a fire anywhere near my house, the helicopters come to that little lake pond thing, and they scoop water out of it and they go dump it on. It's the biggest body of water in our area, so that's naturally a place for them to go to. So when there's a fire close by, I always know when I'm home, when a helicopter is that low, that there's a fire nearby. So I come inside, tell Sheena to get on Facebook, because we have a community page that basically keeps us up to date on anything from car wrecks, vegetation fires, electrical lines down, everything like that. So she's on there looking it up and everything like that. And the fire was getting bigger and bigger, quicker. In about 10 minutes time from the time I went out back, saw the helicopter, talked to Sheena, in 10 minutes, they already started evacuating streets, and we were only 2 streets away. Thankfully, by chance again, I was listening to the same podcast, survival podcast, a couple days before this started. And a disaster plan expert was on, talking about how he made an online course that you could buy. So I bought it. 3 days before this fire, I bought this disaster survival course, and Shane and I were watching it, thankfully. So we only had 3 days out of a 7-day course into this. And so every night we were watching a section, and after this section was done, we'd sit there and talk about it. So we had already started to get a game plan going, because in our area, really, there's only 2 disasters that are natural that are the most probable, and that's wildfires, because of California, and flooding, because where we're at, a lot of tributaries all dump in and finally make it to one creek, dry creek, ironically, and it floods the area about every 5 to 10 years, really bad. So we were getting our game plan going for what we'd do if a wildfire came through. So because of this course directly making us think about what we would do in a disaster situation, we had a game plan already set in place. We had already started writing it on paper, outlining everything, and the steps that we were going to do in order, and who was going to do what. So in about 20 minutes time of us realizing, oh crap, we're probably going to have to evacuate our home, in 20 minutes we had everything ready to be put into, set in front of the cars, ready to be put in and loaded as soon as we got the word. I went around, I started turning hoses on with the oscillating little sprinklers you can get at the big box stores and whatnot, because I was working on the front yard at that time, and the only thing that was out there was dry wood chips. I got sprinkler going on because we have a tinder box for our front yard right now with all the wood chips, so I got the oscillating little sprinkler going right now to get this nice and soaked in case any ashes fly over and hit our wood chips. Don't need this to go up yet. Yeah, dry wood chips, guys. That's a big big scary moment that I had. I was like, oh crap, what am I gonna do? Or how one ember comes and lands on this and we're done. Our house, I'm gonna lose our house at that point. So everything, I had all the hoses going, I was flooding our backyard, I was drenching our front yard, and in about 10 minutes after this is when the firefighters gained control. They did an amazing job and they got it extinguished. So let's say thank you to the nice helicopter that saved a whole bunch of houses. Fire is 100% contained, so thank goodness. Whew, avoided that one. But we were prepared. So we were both shaken up, adrenaline, getting the hands shaking and everything. But Shannon and I sat down and I told her, I was like, you know what? We got lucky. We were able to test exactly what we were talking about in a real life situation and didn't have any consequences to have to learn from. And we really sat down, finished the course, and got our crap together, got it all written down, and I just need a lamp with that now, so it don't have to worry about it getting water damage or anything. So Shane and I started feeling not cocky, felt more confident in the fact that we can truly make sure that all of our animals and all the important stuff that we own, which is not items, it's us and it's our animals and it's the documents that we need to survive, basically. We felt very confident that we could, as long as we were here to be able to rescue them, that we could. So we went to bed that night, feeling pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. I was up on cloud 9, thinking that the preps that we had in place were working, and that was a great sign. The next day, I get to work, and it's about 6:49 in the morning on a Tuesday, and I get a call from my dad. And I'm at my work in the office, getting ready to head on out to do my dispatches and everything, and I get a call from my dad. My dad says on the other end of the line, "Troy, I hate to do this to you so early in the morning, but you need to know that your mom fell and she had a seizure, and she's in the ICU right now." I didn't really hear anything after that. I can't even remember if he did say anything after that one sentence. I just said okay and hung up the phone, and then went and did my dispatches for work and everything. My mom was in the ICU for 5 days. They stabilized her, and then she was transferred to the neuroscience ward for the next 2 weeks. And then after that, she was transferred to a nursing care facility. And my mom was diagnosed with late-stage dementia. Like that. I would recount everything, but I don't really want to, and I hope you all understand. It was a very hard time in my life at that point. Not only was I going through it, my father and my youngest brother were going through it because they both lived with my mom at home. My youngest brother is actually the one that found her and was the one that called 911. I was also the one to be the middleman to relay this all to our family up in Oregon. All of her brothers are up there, and so my dad couldn't really handle that at that point in time. And since I was the oldest, it was on my shoulders to kind of get prepared and start making sure everything was lined up. My mom was finally released into my dad's care after the nursing care facility on her birthday. That was October 1st. And we're basically going to have to take care of her for the rest of her life. And it's not easy. It's really hard. And unfortunately, if you don't know, with dementia, she's on a permanent downhill slide. So I bring all of this up not to share the worst parts of what happened in my life with all you, because I am really that extrovert. It's because I want to point out things to show, to help keep you on track when you're taking care of your homestead, your garden, your farm, and something pops up. First thing is, don't do this alone. Humans are not solitary animals, and we are not meant to be solitary animals. We are community driven. We accomplish more and thrive when we are in a community base. Obviously, this doesn't mean it has to be your whole town. Some people are jackasses and you don't want them in your life. You need to choose the people you have close to you that will help you when times get hard. And even if nothing bad happens, they're still there for you, and you can be there for them. For me, for example, I have my partner, Sheena, and I have my parents, and I have her dad, and a very few select friends that are in my community. And they will and can help me if they're able to. The second thing is going to be having a operations manual, so to speak, for everything on your homestead. Taking care of the animals, times, the amounts of feed that they get, letting animals out to use the bathroom if you have dogs or whatnot. Another thing would be if it's wintertime, power goes out, you have a generator, but you're knocked out with a fever or cold and can't get out to do it, but you're the only one that knows how to do it. You just get to sleep there in the dark, get cold, get more sick. No, you need to write out the steps on how to operate that generator. Where are the power cords, the extension cords for it? Where is the gas for it? Is there a certain type of gas that needs to happen for that generator uses? Another one would be, what if you need to leave, but you're injured, there's a tree in the way, you brought your chainsaw because you knew that this might be a scenario, but you're injured, you can't get out to go saw up the log that's in the middle of the street. You can't leave now unless you taught someone that you're with also how to use that chainsaw. Do you see where I'm going with this? Do you have a tractor that you use for your property to take care of your animals? I don't. I'm on a really small piece of property, but I still have things that have to get done even if I want to go on vacation. What if you're not injured? You just want to have some relaxation time away from the homestead. You need someone to be able to just simply read on a manual piece of paper, step-by-step instructions. Remember, KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Or keep it stupid, simple. Whatever one you like. Third thing is going to be automation. The more things that you can get on an automation, I personally believe the better. It's a two-sided coin though. Automation is good as long as you're checking on it. Don't just rely on an automatic waterer for me, for example. I have an automatic waterer for my chickens. I found out very early on that you do not just rely on that always working. Most of this stuff that we're working with nowadays is plastic, and plastic fails. My float on my auto waterer broke, and it flooded my backyard because the water was running for over 24 hours before I actually realized, oh crap, yeah, that was a lot of water, guys. Don't do that. Automation is good though. Automation can help when times get hard or going on vacation. So just remember that. Fourth thing is prevention, and that is regarding everything. An ounce of prevention is better than a pound of cure, right? So, are you eating healthy? Are you taking care of your body? Are you stretching? Do you have a bad back to where you pull your back like I do? My back goes out every now and then I'm out for 4 days straight because I can't lift anything or else I'm just gonna make it worse. So for me, I do a lot of stretching to keep my back limber. Also, are you taking care of yourself mentally? I know homesteaders, we seem to be a certain type of person to where very outgoing and thriving to always achieve more, building more projects. But I've noticed that a lot of us don't take the time to really think about how we're taking care of ourselves. Are you reading anything? Not just informational books, just things to kind of allow your mind to escape the day-to-day stuff that you're doing. Give yourself a break from these things. You don't want to be the person that burns their candle at both ends. Burning at one, you'll last a lot longer. The fifth thing is going to be take time for the little things in life. This kind of ties in with number 4, but it's its own thing. Enjoy the stuff that's coming from your garden. Plant some flowers. Make it beautiful. You're not just for you, also for nature. You plant flowers, they look gorgeous, they smell nice, and then it's also bringing pollinators and beneficial insects as well. There's a very easy fix. Sometimes we can't see the forest for the trees, and we get so caught up in the day-to-day that I think we lose sight of why we're doing what we're doing in the first place. So if 2020 was a bad year for you, or 2021 is a bad year for you, or any future year is rough, just remember to take care of yourself, and hopefully this video provided you with some things to keep in mind for when times do get tough. So when they're easy, always be preparing for when times do get tough. So hopefully when times do get hard, you're able to test your preps like I was without a lot of big consequences, and you are able to see the flaws that are in all of your preps for your homestead. Take that to mind, always be learning, and always keep improving. So let's fix them while we still have time. Become more prepared by building yourself your own operations manual for your homestead, and become more resilient. And remember, I'm rooting for you.